What's up, traders? This is Vee Trades, and today I will be doing a technical analysis breakdown for Vale with the ticker symbol VALE. This was a viewer's request, and thank you for your donation. I will first be going over what I see in the daily chart and finish the video off with the weekly chart. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Please trade at your own risk. So let's see what's happened on Vale on the macro and the micro. As you can see here in the macro, there was a long-term downtrend in play that was kind of volatile because we saw big swings up and down. Finally, price reached the measurement target. This was all one large impulse down, and bears were targeting the measured leg down of about $9. And that target was reached, and we're seeing a bounce take place. Is that bounce going to reverse price higher, or is that just a temporary stopping point for lower prices? Well, let's analyze the price action and see what's going on in the short term. Well, there was a nice rally that developed right around that area, $8 to $9, and it looks like price is still inside that upward channel. So you see that price has been making higher highs, higher lows in the short term. We are getting rejected from prior support. So you see that this was prior support right over here, and then a little bit right over here. Price broke through it, came back up, and it looks like it's finding resistance right now. So that could lead to lower prices, or this could also just be temporary for a breakout higher. We don't know which one is going to happen. If I were to say which one's more likely, it's more likely price continues trending down lower because that is the macro context. However, short-term price action can turn around the long-term price action. So we'll see how this develops. This is very similar to what happened back over here. As you can see, when price breaks through a level that was prior support and it comes back to it, it can find resistance and then continue down lower. In this case, we could do something similar as well. So we could, obviously we already pulled back. We can find resistance and then continue to sell off lower and lower. So again, what would be a metric to keep an eye on or a technical indicator? It would be this bearish trend line. As you can see here, if price is still making lower highs, we have one initial point, we have 2 and 3. If we're still below the trend line, then the trend is still bearish. That's just how simple it is. So if price is below the trend line, there's a good chance we see lower prices. If we see a break of the trend line, then the next target would be back up to the $11 to $12 level, to this trend line right over here. So if we break above the $9 to $10 level with a strong, decisive break through it, not just a little fake breakout, and that fails. If you see a nice, decisive break, there's a good chance it'll succeed. It'll find support on lower prices and continue to rally higher towards the next level. So price continuously tests levels back and forth. So before, this was prior support, and then it turned to resistance, and then we were at support, and now it's acting as some sort of potential resistance. Keyword is potential. We'll see if it will hold or not. But as right now, that's what the chart is telling me. We're in a long-term bear market. We are below 2 trend lines, a macro one and more of a short-term micro trend line. We have seen a short-term uptrend develop, but it's still in bearish territory. It's like same thing as saying if we're in an uptrend, the pullback is still in bullish territory. And normally, that's where buy the dip term comes from. People say buy the dip. Why? Because the trend is still up. So again, if we have a macro uptrend, the pullback is a short-term downtrend. And a lot of times it'll terminate and the long-term uptrend will resume higher. Same thing in reverse. If we're in a downtrend, the impulse or the rally is the pullback, and a lot of people say sell the rip. And what does that mean? That means sell the top of the pullback in a downtrend, because a lot of times it's still in bearish territory and we can still see lower prices. So the same thing like this. We're in a downtrend. Any impulse is suspect until proven to be strong and breaking resistance zones. As right now, it's still in a bearish zone because we're still below the first trend line and we're still below that horizontal level of 978. So until we see strong moves up to that level, I would be cautious to lean towards the bullish side. I would be leaning more towards the bearish side. Things can obviously change, and obviously we could do something like this, break above, but this is still bearish territory, and you have to respect the bears, and there's a good chance we could still see lower prices. I'm still looking for that $7 level. I think that's a strong support, but again, it's not guaranteed. You can't bet your life on these things, and that's why you have to manage your risk properly. So again, it's not guaranteed, but again, it's been dropping for a while, and I think it got very close to it, $8.50, $8.38. It got to. So we'll see if we can get even lower. So that's what I see on the daily chart. Let's take a look at the weekly chart. More or less the same thing, just a more summarized viewpoint, easier on the eyes and quicker to see. Again, we have multiple consecutive green weeks in a row, so the buyers definitely have been coming strong in the market. We'll see if they're able to get above that EMA and that bearish trend line. This one right over here, and also that horizontal level. So again, this is bearish territory, but again, we'll see how this develops. If it breaks above and it strongly breaks above the $9 and $10 level, the next target would be right around the 12s and the 11 and $12 level. And if we break above the $12 level, so 12.30, something like that, with a nice decisive break, well, again, there's no more downward trend lines to draw off the swing highs. We basically broke through the bearish momentum, and there's a good chance we could look for a longer term rally from there. But again, that's more macro, and that's kind of further away, probably sometime in April or June. Even if we were to see a rally develop from here, it would take a while. But overall, it's still bearish until proven otherwise. And again, is what would the tariffs do on this that the U.S. president is going to impose on several countries? Not really sure. I think the market obviously is not sure either. That's why we come to the market to see what is reality and what's objective. Because if the market is bullish, then they don't really care, right? If the prices continue to move up higher, market participants, thousands and hundreds of thousands of people, they don't really care with the big money. If you see the market drop, then they care. It looks like, at least maybe in the short term, they care and they believe it'll have an impact. So just go based on the price. Earnings report is also coming up in a few weeks, less than a few weeks. So that will definitely add a little bit more volatility to the price action. So again, we'll see what happens. This has an opportunity to move up higher, but until proven, it's most likely going to continue trending down lower. And a very strong support is right at that 2020 low at the $7 level, high sixes, low sevens, and maybe the prior low in 2016. So we'll have to wait and see. I mean, this looks like it could be forming a 4-year cycle low. So in 2016, there was a bottom in about early 2016, January, February, and then price bottomed in March of 2020. So about 4 years later, right around the same time. And what do you know? About 2024 into January 2025, maybe we have seen a bottom. So again, it could be another 4 years up. Again, it's always something to keep an eye on. But we need to see price break above the $10 level. It's the strong break above the $10 level. And then there's a good chance that this can reach the $12 level. And then if it breaks the $12 level, and then we can see price continue higher, probably up until the major peak right here at the $22, $23 level. So all I have for Vale on the daily weekly charts. This is Vee Trades, and thank you for your time.